What's good, boys and girls? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I am leaving Houston. Leaving this. Been here all day against my will. And yes, your girl's in a Wrangler. So it's a silly season lately, and I've laughed a lot because I'm really ready to go into my mini retirement. What is what you were calling it, a mini retirement. Here December 31st, because every time it gets right around Thanksgiving, October, Christmas, you've gone through the courses, if you've done stuff, but yet like clockwork, because people are broke and they need money, people try to get chargebacks. Now, I was talking about this with someone who owns a business, and he was laughing because he said, girl, but us too. But his business is $8,000 charges, getting chargebacks. Okay, now definitely you guys hit the like button. Now, earlier was over on Glenn Cameron channel laughing my butt off because he was full of hilariousness. But what he's saying is the truth. A lot of people say, oh, the middle class is dying. It's because of women. I'm trying not to laugh even as I say this stuff now. And the truth of it is we both killed the middle class. Lack of ambition. And look, I'll put it on both people. I'll put it on women, we now got looking our best, our skinniest, or whatever. We may not be choosing the best gentleman. We take that. Lots of women have taken that hit and been honest about bad choices. Now, many people saw the whole Sierra thing and said, oh no, look at her getting the best. The best what? She wasn't getting a billionaire. She got a great dude, but she wasn't getting like some billionaire of some company. She got a football player who, if things don't go right or get hit to him, he'll be out of a job. And I laughed today at the store, at Glenda's thing and a few other ones, because people are like, the death of the middle class, it's dying. And instead of acknowledging why it's dying, we have a generation of quitters. We have a generation of entitled. It's not just taxes. People are like, Erica, the taxes, the student loans, the debt. We've always had debt. This is America. Every generation's had some type of debt. What we have is a level of entitlement that's out of this world. We want the best for nothing. This is why China, the whole move to privatization, the whole move to putting all these companies overseas, that wasn't the death nail of the coffin. That was the end of your dad and your uncles just walking down the street, going to work, and then come and spend all their money they want on Friday drinking at the bar, and give your mom what's left as she paid the bills and also pay the mortgage. And y'all relax, and your dad still has a 1980s Mustang GTO. That was the death of that. That's all that was. I even know people in the military now, retired, they still got their old Mustangs they first got when they first got in. Still got them. Now, with anything that we call a death, we have to look at some symptoms. There was a great article about black middle class kids. When they grew up, they became poor. Now, I can tell you reasons why. A lot of those people that you read the article, the parent had a skill or a guaranteed job. Now, what do I mean, parent? Military, government related jobs, plumber, electricians. They had a skill or a trade. The children did what? Went to college, but didn't go to college. Let's just be honest. If your parents had this and they didn't have college, when you got there, they were not the best person to educate you on what degree to pick, what major to major in. You need to do an internship. I remember our school running around like crazy saying, please get these internships, because if not, you're not going to get a job. And people were like, well, I don't want to go to Florida. I don't want to go here. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do a hard internship. I don't want to dress up every day. I mean, people literally would go home. And the school would be like, if you don't do an internship, honey, you're not going to go. People would go back to these little nowhere towns. I said, what was the point of you going to college? You're just going to return back to Rocky Mount, North Carolina. What was the point of you going to college if you're just going to go back into Asheville in the mountains with no job in your hand? So people are blaming these colleges when they really need to step it up and blame themselves. There was no accountability there. A lot of these people went home and got waitress jobs and Walmart jobs. Shit, that was all that was in their town when they left it. So where did they think they were getting these degrees? To do what? To do what? Entitlement is killing this generation. Entitlement. Now, when I say I'm going to do I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do 2 more classes. I'm recording them now. I'm trying to finish them out with this planner. We have all this staff working on stuff, and I will tell you, I'm going to go sit down for a while because I've earned it. It's not entitlement. It's a different level when you realize, man, people are doing so little that you can hire staff. I literally have people who are gladly working on staff for $12 an hour for 30 hours a week and glad to do it. And I'm like, look, if you want to take on more responsibility, I'll pay you more. Oh, really? Yeah. And you're going to see more of that. You're going to see a whole bunch of people taking $12 an hour jobs because all of a sudden they realize, oh man, like I'm here in this town and I don't know anybody. I haven't gone to any networking events. I haven't gone to any happy hours. I didn't do any internships. And now here I am stuck wanting a job that pays $50,000 to $75,000 a year. I'm mad about it. Now, I also looked over at someone's video, and these men are like, I make $70K a year. I'm a catch. I ain't got no kids. I'm a catch. Sir, come on now, $70K, take away the, now we're going to do taxes. $70K after taxes, you're really at $50K, sir. 49, 48 after taxes. Depending on the state, even less. But we're coming into a generation where you're going to see, it's always, to be a true definition of middle class has always been ownership. You have a bunch of people right now. We have a bunch of people trying to say, I'm middle class. Do you own a home? No. Are you married? No. Do you have kids inside marriage? No. Do you have investments? No. Then you are not middle class. The middle class has never been this, and what people are really not paying attention is, in the 1980s, to be middle class, you owned a home. Your daddy or your grandpa owned a home. They had a pension and they had money saved. That was middle class, and some kind of investment. That was middle class. You have a generation of people trying to convince you, because they ain't convincing themselves, to be truthfully, trying to convince you they're middle class, and they own no home. They have no wife. They ain't having children inside of marriage. They out here having kids willy-nilly with any kind of person and acting like, how dare you say I'm not middle class? You, sir, are not middle class. You are a brother or man who makes $70K a year, and if anything happens, if you break your toe, you break your kneecap, anything, you are not middle class. You will wake up and realize you have medical bills and go, oh crap, I gotta figure something new out. These people are out here trying to convince themselves of greatness that they have not achieved. Stop it. It's really ridiculous. Now, when I come on here and I try to teach you guys about, hey, you guys, you want to learn about using VAs, you want to learn about getting your credit up, get your business credit up so you can hire staff. Most people are like, nah, I just want business credit cards so I can get these points and travel for free. That's not what this channel was ever about. And I tell you what, I've even done so many videos about how to fix your credit yourself and how to pay off your debts and organize things that people are like, well, if people come up with all kind of crap. But from here on, refund policy, money. Now you acting brand new. Yes, I am. Because talking with people who are negative does nothing for your mentality. I'm sitting here day after day telling you, hey, listen, go on meetup.com, sign up for stuff, do this, do that. Oh, that's too much, Erica. I've got friends now who've moved to new cities and I see it on Facebook. Man, I just signed up for this meetup.com, you guys. And I met all these people, and you're like, yeah, because I told you to do that when you move. But it's okay if you want to pretend to Facebook like I didn't tell you that. But okay. And that's the thing. It's these people are learning after they hit their head so hard. Like, they wait till they're 40 years old. Like, yeah, I'm going to start getting on these dating sites, and I'm going to lose 40 pounds right when I turn 40. For what, sis? No babies at this point, but you can get married still. Just no babies. And so I'm trying to sit here and give you all these stats after stats. You can live a fabulous life. The people who go out here and actually go to these events, who actually go to these galas, who actually go in these associations, you can see it. Chamber of Commerce events, all those things, you can see it. They're living their best life. Now, I will say something repeatedly, and men will be like, you're a liar. There are plenty of short men out here winning their best freaking life. One of the most successful black men in Austin owns a gun store and is put several laws through Congress, been on TV multiple times. He is 5'3". He is beating the white ladies off him with a stick. Every time I see him at an event, he like, get off me, get off me. Dude's 5'3". He's rich. He carries himself differently. When he talks to you, he has confidence. All these guys out here on YouTube who are short men trying to play like, I'm short and women don't pre-select us because we're short. No, we don't select people who are got their head down on the ground, sad and depressed and lacking confidence, and won't put on a clean t-shirt, take a bath, cut your hair, and have some accomplishments about your life. It's just too easy out here to win, man. It's too easy because so many people ain't doing nothing. You know how many people I've offered a $12 an hour job to and they've been like, thank you, I haven't had a job in months. What? People aren't out here doing it like you think they are. Saw a girl yesterday delivering Uber Eats in a Mercedes Benz. Now, nothing wrong with doing Uber Eats, but you in a Mercedes Benz, you shouldn't have bought that car. Shouldn't have bought that car. That was not the car for you. Now you're eating up your money. Yeah, I'm in Houston's terrible traffic. So, I mean, I literally sat down and watched Glenda's whole show from a coffee shop. And watched a black girl come in her Halloween costume and close a wholesale deal with a white couple. People don't care about your race. They care, do you solve their problems? We have a generation of people right now saying it's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm a man. It's because I'm a short man. It's because I'm an overweight man. It's because I'm an overweight woman. Finding every excuse in the book. I flew on a plane last night. It was a whole sales team out there. It's 9 o'clock at night. Plane didn't been deferred 5 daggone times. We left. It was like 5-hour delay. All of them dressed not to kill, but a nice comparative, blazers, jackets. Blazers, jacket. Now, when it's the wintertime, they do the little fleece over the button up. Woman out there with her skirt on. I was the only person in first class with blue jeans on. Well, nope, the Asian guy that sat beside me, but I knew he had money. He had a thing in his pocket. I want to say, sir, that is so obvious you have so much cash in your pocket right now, somebody could rob you. Me and him were the only 2 people with blue jeans on. And the funny thing is, it's all about how you carry yourself. True. It's just all about how you carry yourself. And people are carrying themselves like they lack confidence, like they are not winners, like they are not accomplishing things. And I know they're not. When you have time to be on 5 and 8 hour hangouts, you don't have no girlfriend. You're not slaying ladies. Ladies aren't coming over your house for hookups. Don't lie to me. Who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself? Not with no 8 hour hangout, you ain't. And a lot of people, I could blast a lot of people, but we're so respectful that are on disability and live with single moms and married single moms, but yet are on internet telling you to not deal with single moms, and they wouldn't have the place they live at if it wasn't for the woman they're living with. So you got people out here on the internet selling you goat's milk, telling you it's cow's milk. Miss me with that. If you can see the actual photo pictures of some of these dudes who hide their face and actually see them in person. I've actually Skyped a lot of them and met them in person, because real YouTube people actually go see other real YouTube people. They live in a fantasy here. They're selling you gold, fake gold. I'm sitting here documenting every day, real life. I'm going to do a whole series of showing you the staff and how I do stuff. But you guys, people are selling you fake gold out here. Selling you fake gold. Oh, these fat women, they not living no life. These women. I tell you every day of the freaking week, even in Austin, Texas, with these guys who are engineers, they're turning around and marrying short, fat baby mamas. White men, black men, Hispanic men. People are trying to convince you of something that's not real because you're not living life. I challenge you so greatly. This is why I did the boat party. This is why I do these meet in person events, because everybody in the room can tell you about 5,000 different videos, YouTube videos, but what are they actually doing? I love when I go to a meeting and someone's actually rehabbing a house. Someone's actually building a business. We can build off that energy. We can work together. That's why I did the in-person events. I did all those in-person events for people to see there's other people just like you actually out here living their best life, actually out here buying houses, investing in real estate, being successful, being a short man, beating the women off of them, you know. But people, you know, rather sit at home because that's easy. I don't have to get out of my house. I don't have to get improved skills. Now listen, I was telling you guys, I've been to several things where there are men who are 35, 36 years old, and they ain't got no hobbies, no community, no events, no nothing they're doing. They ain't even got a lot of friends. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a ton of friends at 35 or 36, but what I am saying is if I ask you what do you do for hobbies and you have none, what are you doing? Are you getting a master's degree? Are you doing anything? That's scary. That's you're doing it wrong, brother. Fix that. And that's why when people say these people are harsh to them out here, you have nothing to talk about. You have no conversation. You ain't got nothing going on. Nothing going on. Nothing. I literally said for a while I hated doing phone consults because once we figured out their problem, I go, well, what do you do with your rest of your day? And the people would be like, nothing. I go, well, that's part of the problem too. That's part of the problem. You know, if you sit here and say once a week you need to be doing something. Now, prime example, there's a lot of men at my church who are in their 40s, going on 50s, who started doing jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you know, where you're wrestling, you're fighting. Everybody, put a 1 in the comments if you know what Brazilian jiu-jitsu is. Put a 1 in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. And so people were like, why did they choose that sport? I was the one person at church like, who cares? Great. They've all chose new sports and new things to do. And it's aggressive. Great. Your testosterone is going through the floor when you're in your 40s and 50s. Great. Now you have some new hobbies. You can wrestle each other, fight, whatever. Great. That's what you should be doing. Community. Now they have something they're going to go to twice a week without the wife and the kids and build up confidence and be a fighter. Great. Now you ain't got to go actually fight in the ring anywhere, but you know what I'm saying? Like, literally. People are out here doing it. That black girl I just saw, I put it on Instagram. She had the kitty cat ears on her head, closing a wholesale deal. The people were just ready to meet her and sign papers and go. And that's what I'm talking about. People out here actually living life. I don't care what you do. That's why I'm putting this planner together, because people are like, I don't know. There's no accountability. You do what you feel. You can't say a lot of people say, well, I'm disciplined. I go to the gym. I go to work in the gym every day. Okay. Being disciplined is a lifestyle. Being disciplined is a lifestyle. Because you get up and do it regardless if you feel like it or not, right? But if you tell me all you do is go to work and go to the gym, that's not a complete life. That's like saying my tire is flat on one side. No, then your tire's flat. If that's all you do is you go to the work, you go to the gym, and you go to the gym, and that's it, and you go home and watch YouTube videos, that's it. I need you to do more. Not for me, not for women, but for you. This guy asked me one time, who was I losing weight for? I'm like, for me. I'm losing it for me. For me. I don't need to lose it for anybody else. I'm losing it for myself. I'm paying the trainer for myself. I'm going to kickboxing classes for myself. And that's what you guys are missing. You're missing the part of life where you're doing it for you. And you're capable. Many of you are so smart. You work at jobs where you manage other people. And then I asked you, why can't you manage this other group? Why can't you hire some VAs? Use that one business credit card. Make sure they get paid out of that one business credit card. And go on. You got to be doing it for you. That's the thing. You know, you got people say I'm doing it for my kids, but what you're running up to is there's a lot of Black and Latino people who are 40 to 42 years old. Their kids are grown. They had kids young. Those kids are gone. So now you have to do it for you. Now many people say, well, Eric, I'm doing it for my grandkids. No, you're doing it for you because you may live to be freaking 90 years old. Do you know how many business owners I'm running to at these events and galas who are 82 years old, and when they tell me, I'm like, what? You look 60 something, because they're still fighting. They're still getting up every day and living life. They're getting up every day and still putting in the work. Now, I'm not saying slave yourself to death, because at some point your body and your mind does deteriorate. But you can tell when you go to certain communities where people get on disability, or somebody's mom, something happened to them young, so their mom's just at home all the time. She's starting to deteriorate in her conversation, not like a bunch, not enough where you're like, oh my God, but enough that you're like, she's not learning new things. She's not gaining new information, new experiences. That's why when my mom retired the military and she kept going to school, none of our family cared. They're like, keep going, keep connecting, keep growing, keep talking to these people. It gives you life. It gives you vibrantness. You have to get out there and fight for it. Now I'm gonna lose sunlight, and this truck is different because the light's back that way. I don't have my spotlight with me in this bag at all. But I want you to understand, if you're watching my videos, and I know you're gonna see a lot of in the spring, what you'll see is a lot of pre-recorded stuff. I'm not even gonna front it, but it talks about tax liens. It'll talk about different ways to scale businesses. It'll be really great pre-recorded stuff. But that's the thing. A lot of my friends have the stability of marriage to go out here and go do whatever and take breaks when they want, because they got a partner who's helping them do it, or they got a team of workers helping them do it. I'm not married, so I have a team of workers. And at the point where I'm free, whoops, shaping a lot now, hold on. There is ebbs and flows in business and life. This thing is shaking bad. There are ebbs and flows in business and in life, and a lot of you just aren't taking advantage of it, right? When your kids are getting older, this is a perfect time for you and your spouse to write out new dreams, new goals, new things you want to do. It's the perfect time. And when you talk to people about it, they look at you like you're crazy. But this is the time to do it. There's never going to be another time where you're like, because eventually you'll have what? Little grandkids. So take this time to write out new dreams for 2020. Write out new places you're traveling, because you'll talk to some people on the phone. All they want to do is go on Carnival cruises and vacation in Miami their whole life. You got to do more than that, baby. You got to be growing up here. Now look, we can't fight the data. Now earlier, I said this. I will continue to say this. I read stats for about 2-3 hours a day. There's reasons why I go to the certain cities I go to: Cleveland, Ohio, Chicago. I look at the neighborhoods, because every time when something's changing, well, it's not no jobs there. I'm moving. I'm leaving. And I go, but did you own anything while you were there? You just spent 20 years in Chicago throwing money down the drain. You didn't own anything. Then when things don't go right, you complain about the economy, and then you move to a new city and complain and do it all over again. Then spend 20 years in Texas renting houses, never owning anything, never investing, and then telling people the story. I remember it was $13,000 over there. Okay, great. So what? What are you doing today? Do you know how many people I get on the phone with and they want to tell me about how cheap prices were 2 years ago somewhere? Did you buy anything? No. Racism hasn't stopped you from doing anything in the past 5 years. And let's be really honest. If I asked you in the past 5 years, have you got a home approval, pre-approved for a mortgage? Have you got business credit cards? Have you started pay for your LLC? A lot of you still talking about, well, I got to pay for my LLC. Eric, I got to really go. But it's $100. Well, no, I live in California. It's $800. You know. What you want me to do here? I cannot direct a parked car. I cannot help you steer a car that's not in motion. If you are not moving, if you are not growing, if you are not doing anything, how can I help you? How can I tell you to adjust what you're doing if you're not doing anything? Do you see what I'm saying? And people call it harsh all day, but I'm not your mama, and I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not here to pat you on the back to be like, you doing so good. You make $70,000 a year and you ain't got no kids out of wedlock. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to have kids out of wedlock. You don't need a cookie or a pat on the back for being 37 years old with no children. That's what you're supposed to do. That's bare minimum stuff. You dig what I'm saying? But again, the stats that people want to fight me on, and I'll go over them again, is 1 in 3 men 19 to 34 live at home with their parents. And this guy tried to say, but listen to me. All these men are lying on their driver's license. They're lying on their income taxes. They're lying on their school forms. They're lying on their FAFSA forms. They're lying why would they lie that much? I mean, you really are trying to grow this conspiracy theory that everybody's out here really just living their best life, having sex every weekend with hot tens, and no one's doing these things. Right? It's really serious. It's really sad. This is really delusional stuff. Again, another stat had that 1 in 6 dudes weren't working. And these people are going to try to convince you, these men, okay, they're not working. They told the government, they've told the food stamp place, they told everybody they're not working. So they lying? They lying? And at the end of the day, out of that 1 in 6, sorry, it's cold out there, I got to put this hoodie on. Out of that 1 in 6, where do you think they live? For free. Where are they living for free? With women. Now, I didn't say girlfriend. I didn't say wife. They could be living with their mama. They could be living with their cousin. They can be living with their grandma. They can live with their Aunt Sheila that just got cats. A lot of places. There are not many men who family members are like, you know what? We just gonna let him be homeless. That's not true. People aren't out here doing it. Most of the homeless you see in America are mental health patients who need medication. Not single men who lost a job. Please stop that. That's ridiculous. So again, people are like, Erica, you're talking bad on men. I'm not. I really am not. I'm literally just repeating actual facts, letting people not sit here and try to give you this fake sob story, telling you that, this divorce is 50%. Even though 7 years ago, they kept disputing this for 3 years in a row. They said, listen, that's not true. Glenn Beck even did a whole show, a whole book on it. That's not true. It's 9% divorce rates if you get first-time marriage, 28 years old to 32 years old. It's 25% if you've ever even stepped foot in college. It's only 50% if you get married. What ages? 18 years old to 23 years old. So people are out here trying to convince you, yeah, these kids ought to just get married young. Why? That's the divorce rate. All these other people that's been married all these years, that's not real divorce rate. Okay? You're quoting old facts that don't add up. You're quoting numbers that aren't realistic. Stop it. It's crazy. Now, what I'm going to be doing when it comes to the next couple shows is why I'm going to be talking about the middle class so much is people are like, the middle class is dying. But the middle class classification was always, as we know it in America, 1980s, was home ownership, a pension fund, or access to a retirement fund. And what we have now is, to qualify truly as middle class, is the access to credit. Now, what is access to credit? It don't mean PayPal loans. It don't mean payday loans. It don't mean title loans. It don't mean 32% interest credit cards. It means like 4% and under credit cards, 6% and under business lines of checking, or credit checking lines of credit. It's levels to this. Okay? It's very different levels to this. And so when you're trying to express this to people so that they understand that the true breakout of what is middle class is people are holding on to some old notion that they can't even qualify for themselves. Are you married? Do you have kids inside marriage? Do you own your home? Do you have a pension? Most people don't meet those qualifications. So they're applying an old standard, saying they want a traditional wife in a traditional way, and they're not doing traditional things. LA Divine, it's up to you. Depends on what you're trying to do to it. Do with it. Now, when people say, man, businesses are hard, I'm literally going to conferences with people, and I'm not saying they're dumb. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they're not super geniuses. Trying to say it in a cleaned up way. But literally what they have done is they'll hire VAs, they'll hire people to come into the office at $12 to $20 an hour. Just someone smart enough that they're not stealing. to make the phone calls. You cannot make millions in business without a phone system, without telemarketers. Now, you immediately, when I said the word telemarketer, thinking, oh no, scam, people in a call center. No. I'm just saying someone to handle your phone calls. There's a great book called The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. Go read it. Even read the updated version, not the old version. And what people forget is people will spend, it's true, someone's smart enough not to steal, because people who are working at these jobs for $10 and under, you know what I mean, these restaurants talk about people stealing. I remember working as a waitress and somebody was stealing. And I was like, girl, you're going to get caught. You manipulating these tips. How long did it take for people to call the restaurant back and be like, hey, someone put $10 tip and I only gave $5? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, so what I'm saying is, you have, let's say you have the business credit card, you hire the VA or you hire the person in your office that makes the phone calls. Okay? So you're calling with the phone person. They're calling. Let's do this, start with a couple examples. First one, if you read the Tim Ferriss 4-Hour Work Week, most people feel comfortable spending about $50 to $200 on the internet. Now, I would say with our changing times and credit cards, $50 to $399. $399. But anything over $500, $1,000, $3,000, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000, you're gonna want to speak to somebody. The 10X people I'm working with right now, they're like, who are we gonna put in your office on the phones? I was like, why? They're like, we should offer this really big package. I was like, I'm offering a $450 package and people are struggling to figure out if they should buy it. But there's a segment of people who want to buy a higher income package. Now, of course, if you see on the website, there's stuff I have on there, it's $1,000 or more. But what happens is, when you start getting thousands of dollars where people are going to spend, people want to talk to somebody on the phone. People want to say, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I need to run through a call. Now, why are those good? Those are good because if something's $2,000 and you want to speak to somebody, it just reassures that person, this is not a scam, this isn't fake, this is a real deal thing. Same thing when it comes to, like, you ever see those packages where people are selling like a resort or a group? Yes. Yeah, they'll call, make sure it's a legit number, legit website. Again, when I talk about us being in the first generation of internet, a lot of people still want to call somebody. A lot of people want to go look on the internet and look at your website. A lot of people still want to do that. People keep saying, nah, just use a landing page. Honey, you're not convincing somebody 45 and up to just go look at one page and they're going to give you $3,000 to $7,000. They're going to research you. People who spend money like that, they're going to research you. They're going to Google a little bit. And so this is why I'm telling people we're on that first wave of internet. And then we're going to have a second generation of people internet. And it'll be more people willing to work with people and work with them. But like, the stuff I'm going to be talking about this fall is the reason I'm talking about it. Because even as the economy changes, you'll have single moms or you'll have women that are married. They want to work a couple hours a week, but not a ton. And you'll have young men who don't want to go to college. They may still live with their parents. They may still live close to you, but they want to gain new skills or work for a boss. Not this whole, I'm an internet entrepreneur. That's who you're going to be looking for. Okay? You're going to be looking for that guy or girl who's going to sit in the office and respond to calls. They may be young. You can train them. Even like some of the stuff, like I watched this guy's program, Russell Brand. And he has this whole like internet marketing kind of certification where it talks about blogging, talks about SEO and all stuff. You could literally pay someone on your staff to sit through an hour to 2 hours of training every day through those videos, get the certificate themselves, and then be working in your business as part of their job description. They will have to do training. Now, most people hate training because it's boring, it's dry information. But with a lot of the newer internet information out here, you could literally take a kid who was 19, your own children if need be, and train them through these videos and get them to work in your business. Now you say, well, Erica, what type of business? It's up to you. You could do something internet-based. You could do something with a book. You could do something with consulting. You could do you could have an HVAC company and have your one son or daughter really learn how to do on the phone responses or website referrals. Same thing when it comes to this wholesaling and dealing in real estate. You literally could have a kid that picks up the phone or responds to the internet emails. There's a lot of things you can do and train people for, that you're going to get a segment of young men and a segment of like moms whose kids are at school, and midday workers, maybe lunchtime she'll come in and work and do a bunch of phone calls. And that's going to be your market. There's going to be a lot of people you see. Or there may be a few, but not a ton. There'll be men who are older. They used to be in sales at their company. Something happened, and they're willing to do what? They're willing to really kick butt with a smaller company. Because what y'all don't understand is 24 million, like out of like 28 million small businesses, 24 million of them have like one employee who and that person is stressed out, right? Or out of that, there's a whole nother segment of, I think, 7 more million. No, like, out of that group, there's like 2 or 3 million that have under 500 employees. That's a lot of places. That's a lot of places that have like a less, right? Yeah. Man pursues excellence. Yeah, my phone will get an automatic romantic voice call. The human caller listens in the background. Let me see that. Listens in the background and will jump in when the timing is right. If a person hangs up, I believe they continue to the $1. Yeah. Let me go up here. Let me see what some of y'all saying. I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chats. I appreciate them. I was driving. I parked because I'm going to get this Chipotle and then get on the road. Hey, what's up? We do not treat the problem. Yeah, and here, this is the thing. Curtis Davis, when I go back home, I see grown kids living with their parents. Exactly. And there's no real incentive for the parents to push them out, because if you want me to be really honest, if you're a parent and you have a kid living with you, if you don't have enough money to give them a deposit and first month rent to move in their first apartment without your name being on the lease, like your name don't need to be on the lease, but just literally locate them to a new apartment and then they push them off and they have to go start all of their own life, you're not in position either. You don't got your finances right either. A lot of people complain about pushing kids out when they're 18. That's because they didn't invest anything in them. They didn't send in a bunch of camps and tutoring and after school programs. So they know they're sending a not prepared person out in the world. That's why you see all these people comfortable with their sons and daughters staying at home 19, 20, 21, 22. Like, oh, because it's guilt. It's guilt that they didn't finish preparing them. So true. My dad was a general contractor. I went to school. I'm behind him at this age. Yes. He had an actual skill. And you're giving people a piece of paper and saying, go out there. But there's no resistance to them going out there. They're staying at home. They're not having to pursue. I'm sorry. Like, people say, well, I want to do what I want. Like, there was a guy off one of those shows, and I know y'all gonna probably tell them, and I don't care. He literally said, I work a job. I live in an apartment by myself. I have a right to come on YouTube and talk shit. And I was like, you're a loser. What a loser. Oh my God. Like, if you're young and you're fit and you got a job and an apartment, you, young man, you need to be out in the world. I'm not dealing with these women. So I literally said in the comments, have you been married? Do you have children? Did you get divorced? Did someone break your heart? Nah, none of those. Then you're a loser. You're afraid. This is the stuff we're confronting. We have to start being honest with these people who are on the internet talking this crazy stuff. That's crazy. So you're 25 and never had any problems with women. You out here angry because you're not. What are you doing? That's weird. A generation of I don't want us, I can't, and I'm not. It's bare minimum type folks. Yeah. College means you transform to a new person after networking with the wealthy. That's what college used to be. And that's why when they make the joke about the MRS degree, these women would go to college and these guys would be, you could tell which guy was a go-getter who studied hard. Prime example, Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney dropped out of school after fighting and drinking and cutting up. And when his wife came back with her degree, she wasn't married to him yet, but she was getting married to him. And he was still fighting and drinking and getting, fighting at work. She was like, Dick, stop. Like, I have to work through you. There is no jobs for me out here. I have to work through you, and I need you to get it together. We don't have people doing that to people no more. We don't have a generation of people doing that anymore. We don't have people who are married at a young age and their wife has to get them together. We don't. We have a lot of people out here coasting. Coasting. I warmly endorse everything you've said thus far in this video. Thank you. O'Shea, Nyla, Super Sly, Erica on at the same time. Oh, they are? I'm sorry. I'm getting off here shortly. I was just letting this be known. Graduated poli-sci, got an MBA, just happened to get in the field that experienced, okay, doing boomers retirement, so at least I have room to move up. Contract management, there you go. Generation X has the least work ethic. I see them all around me. Listen, they do. And they will fight you on this. They were a part of that grunge era. If anybody thinks about it, and I have friends who are older than me, and I will promise you this, and I'll say this in all kindness, I see women who are 40 to about 47. And I see men close to that age too. And I can tell the ones who made bad decisions. And part of my mind, when I was talking to them, I was like, if you don't change, if you don't work out, if you don't go out, if you don't pursue what's hard, which is relationships can be hard, you will be this person who's in that 40 to 47 range, can't maintain or keep or get a relationship, can't maintain or keep work where they're happy, lack of contentment. And this is a lot of people in that Generation X. This is who you see talking on these videos, telling younger generations not to do this or that. Several of the men you see talking about women so vehemently are married to a single mom with half children. If you actually look in the background, you see pictures of kids. If you actually talk to them, they are married. They will not deny it. I've actually met some of these people. They are nice people, but yet on camera put on this persona, put on this fake face. Even Aaron Clary has a girlfriend he's been with a long time. Again, if you are a man and you want to go out here and find a girl, first do a self-evaluation. I don't know why I'm not getting hot models. Sir, you are 400 pounds. That is why you're not getting hot models. And you're not a millionaire. Okay? That's why. But it also is, what can you control? What is it in the sphere of your control? The sphere of your control is financials. I will not let you tell me you cannot control financials. You can't control your relationships. You can't control anything. That's a lie. Financials is the one thing you can control. You could build a life. And when people say this, I think Kevin Samuel and somebody else says this. The top tier men, they don't see you, right? Now, what do I mean by this? And there's an article. I posted it here and shared it. Wealthy people don't see you. The article was saying how they just don't see poverty. They don't see people struggling. And they really mean it, because 9 times out of 10, they don't be in environments like that. They're not around people struggling. They're surrounding themselves with superstars. They're surrounding themselves with conferences. They're surrounding themselves with ski events. They're surrounding themselves with go-getters. Look at Grant Cardone. The kid that is now like the vice president of most of his stuff was a go-getter. Started out as a phone call guy. Worked his way up. Look at his wife. Look at his kid. It's a very mimicking thing. That's the one thing you can control, is your finances. And those finances will move you through different rooms if you're open and ready. If you're willing to dress up. Now, there's something people say all the time on these channels. Women aren't interested in blue-collar men. That's not true. They're not interested in the 40-year-old man who's blue-collar, who refuses to put on a nice shirt or tie, who doesn't want to do new things, who doesn't want to explore, who doesn't want to travel. Yeah, they're not interested in that. Who doesn't have hobbies, who doesn't have interests. Yeah, they're not interested in that. That does not interest them. Just saying I have money. Look, I have money. Well, what makes you different than the guy who goes overseas and shakes money at prostitutes? No difference. You have nothing to offer but money. Okay? So have the finances, but yes, build the person who you should become along the way. Negative energy is poison. Wow, Yolanda, I took your credit class and was working with 3 people. Only one did the work, and he was slow. That happens. You must be on the West Coast. It's dark day. I'm in Texas. It's getting dark. It's about to... this parking lot light is hold on. J Strokes. I'm a 5'8" dude. Never had problems attracting women. And you probably won't. Most women... I'm 5'7". Give me dates I went on where men told me they were 5'8", and I got there and I was taller than them. Don't lie. Be confident about who you are. Your height is your height. You can dictate all the other stuff. Some of the most fascinating men out there are short men because they have to be fascinating. Right? Some of the best dancers I've ever been on the country music floor have been short men. Some of the most wealthy businessmen I've ever run into have been short men. But if you allow society to say short men are unwanted, remember driving by and seeing this guy with his head down on the corner. I was like, wow, why he looks so sad? Don't let society tell you you're unwanted. That's not true. People don't do anything because they keep worrying about what if. I know, this stuff is exhausting. YouTube fake talking points. Yeah, they love it. When are you coming to LA? Man, while I'm exhausted. At least have a circle. I need a new hobby. Doug will get you one, man. You can do it. You develop emotional intelligence by interacting with real life people. That part. I think oh yeah, Black Caesar. I think they're real pissed. Terrence Forrest Jr. Spinning facts. I'm getting started in wholesaling and real estate here in Tampa. Looking forward to take advantage of opportunity. Terrence, you've seen the videos with Cousin Nita and them. It's literally who is more consistent. Who will knock doors? Who will call phones? Who will put out signs? Who will keep following up? I told you the guy in Ken is, I think Ken might be in Orlando though, or South Florida. I think he's in Orlando. He literally has never stepped foot in Detroit and does over $200,000 a month in Detroit in wholesaling. You decide. Thank you, Hannah, for the $4.99 super chat. See, Coptic right here, I feel sorry for you. I feel absolutely sorry for you. I really do. When people try to say, please stick to finances, look at my channel. My channel has been a documentation of my life. And it being great, as I've made it great. Please don't. Telling someone to stick to finances is telling them to be one-sided, one-dimensional for your pleasure because you can't handle a real person, because you don't have real life experience and you can't talk to real life people. That's what that just told me. That you're, I'm not going to say a loser, but you're a person who can't handle someone who's out of one other category. It's like when someone sees a hot woman, but she starts talking about something important. You're like, be quiet. I just wanted to see you on Instagram. Be hot. It's same when you see a man that does something outside of sports. Why are you doing something outside of sports? That's because you're a simpleton and you can't handle someone who's more than one thing. That's sad, man. That's fucking sad. I'm going to go ahead and block you off the channel because I think if you're going to struggle that hard with me talking, you shouldn't be here. Goodbye. Have a great life. Practice stoicism. Save yourself from dealing with them. Yeah. I turned my hobby into a business. Now it's no longer a hobby. I need a new hobby. Listen, so again, you should have 3 hobbies. One that keeps you in shape, one that keeps you mentally entertained, and one that keeps you wealthy. I think that's what the 3 is. Again, we have people who decided, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm going to take my ball and go home. That's what people are doing in life. And then these same people wake up at 50, 60, 70, all of a sudden with a mad dash to try to do a bunch of activities, to try to turn their life around. No, don't do that. Access to credit has stopped him. No, Curtis, access to credit hasn't stopped a ton of people. What stopped them is getting creative and knowing people. In the planner, in the front of the planner, what I have is write a list of 150 people you know. And then on the side of it, write if they're friend, family, or new growth or something to that effect. I got to go look back at it again. But essentially, I've done this in my own life. Is that list changing? That list should change over the course of a year. There's no reason you should be like, well, I only know these people. You should know every month. You should know 1 to 2 people out of the industry you work in or the new hobby you picked up. If you say you want to do a weekend co-ed baseball team, by the end of the year, you should know at least 1 or 2 of those people more than just when you show up at the actual team games. You should know them more than that because you're spending time in that. But essentially, people don't ever spend any time growing those circles. So then they wonder why at 40 they're angry because their family ain't doing nothing new. Well, you're not doing anything new. You're not being courageous enough to leave and go do something new. 50-50 on the mortgage is not traditional. Woo, won't go there. Won't say nothing. I listened to it yesterday, the whole ebook on YouTube. 4-Hour Work Week is incredible. Still use the tactics today. And I was going to talk more about it, but there's a lot of seasonal people who do seasonal work. They make about 10 to 18K a year, and then they just be able to do their taxes for the spring. I've seen it. I remember a family where, and unfortunately their parents, their dad had a pill problem. He had a back surgery, he had a pill problem. But literally the mom and the siblings would all work in Christmas time, get some money. I'd see a Christmas tree at the house, new groceries, and then they'd be very lean for the rest of the year. But imagine if that man didn't have those women and the son and the daughter in the house all lazily working, which, I mean, I feel like they inherit from their parents the byproduct of just doing bare minimum. And I think later the sister got married to a military guy and moved out of town. And then the brother joined the military because it was like, if not, I'm just going to keep staying here and doing bare minimum. Eventually the dad, I can't remember if he got his back got better, but he started doing cable installations for, what do you call the thing with the dish on the house? So eventually he got better, but there was a solid 7-year mark there where I was like concerned for them. And I remember looking back in one semester, when I was leaving college, the sister all of a sudden lost all this weight. And before you know it, she was married to a military guy and she was gone out of town. And then like a couple years later, the brother finally joined the military. But there is a ecosystem a family has that you may think is normal. And what's the problem? But it can be completely toxic and unhealthy. And if you don't step outside that system, meet new people, go do new things, you will literally think that's okay. It's okay that their dad hasn't worked for years. Me and my mom and my siblings go get seasonal jobs. There are whole families operating like this, getting seasonal work. And then when the season is over, they do their taxes, get a tax refund, and keep living their life. I've seen it. My phone will get all, yeah, okay, that's usually. Giant Lifestyle. How many consulting calls do you average per month? It depends. When I don't talk about something here on YouTube, people don't go buy it. So you see, I haven't really talked about it. There was a time period I did over 6,000 paid phone consultations over a 4.5, almost 5-year mark. Completely exhausted me. I mean, I literally was talking on the phone at least 5 to 10 times a day. Depends. People had 30 minutes, an hour. It was just different things. But now you can transition out of that because that still required my time. Only way I would do a lot of consultation if I did it in a group call or group monthly purchase. But even then, I'm not really excited to do that. That's why I'm really taking a mini retirement. It's like, it's not really worth it. You know, most people who are really taking action and doing stuff, they usually come to my events. Because they've already started taking action. Now they're ready to push forward more. That's the difference. My dad worked for one company 42 years. Whew. Money today is not like money 30 years ago. It really is, though. It really is, though. What's different today is people are not married. So it's not a consistency in the house. There's no balance. That's really what it is. What's your thoughts on people spending $12,000 for school to increase their income? Is that down payment on an investment property? It could be Vanity 06 depending on the investment property. Investment property is under 50K. Yeah, that's an investment property down payment. But it depends on what the schooling they're getting. I bought my first house at 25. These folks making excuses. They really are. No more strong black women. I think that's a detrimental stereotype. It really is, because if you look at all the articles, and you guys can go research this on your own, study after study showing all these women in their 30s are having strokes, having heart attacks, you know, literally almost dying. And I think it is because you have this mantra of people leaving high school, going work, and there's no break. You know, it used to be people would go to college, they'd get married. I mean, you can even see it with some of my younger married friends. Sometimes their wife didn't like a job, so she'd quit and stay home for a little bit, then she'd go back to work. There was a consistency there of relaxation. And even one of my friends, her husband decided to change what he was doing, took off and went to school for 6 months. And because they had saved both their money so well, they just covered the mortgage for 6 months. They had a small townhouse. And so the thing of it is people, there's no balance or rest or quality food. Let's be honest. That plays into it too. You know, so here's the thing, Sledge Walker. When I hear stuff like that, that's a loser. Anybody's like, that woman hit the wall over 30. Unless he's talking about white women, that dude's usually a loser. I'm just sorry. I gotta be honest. Most of these people out here are overweight and not very financially doing well. And so they're mad and they want to say something like, of course, if you look at pornography every day where all the girls are 18, yes, an 18-year-old does not look like a 30-year-old. That's true. Very observative of those people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's almost kind of sick. Like, that person's not dealing in reality. And I keep telling you, I have multiple guy friends who work in IT, and they went ahead and was like, peace out, got married, and they're like, they go to work every day with men who are in their 40s, angry, because they're like, I've got money in a house, and these 20-something-year-old girls aren't paying me any attention. I don't know if you know this, but if you talk to people who are 28, and you say, or 25, and you say somebody's 35, they're like, damn. Because it's that big of a gap. So their only access to you is you trying to do what? Trick on them. You know what I mean? So a lot of this, I want people to understand, is we get into these arguments, these relationship type arguments, because that's all that person knows. That's all they know. They don't know anything. They don't know about associations. They don't know about galas. They don't know about balls. They don't know about dressing up. They don't know about putting on actual clothes and going to events and meetings and going to baseball games and going to concerts, because they don't have any money and they don't do any of those things. So they talk about relationships that they're not in with women they don't date all day long because of what? That's called a loser. Why would you do 5 and 6 and 7, 8 hour hangouts if you are a healthy, active father, married husband, taking care of your kids, producing a healthy life, going on vacations with your wife, living, traveling, spending your money well? You wouldn't be doing these things. Hence why, again, I keep saying I'm taking retirement, because I'm going to go live my life. You know what I mean? Like, this is just out of the question. I don't understand. And thank you for the informal giving and construction love. Yeah. How high of a loan can I get with a 750 credit score? Dennis, who knows? Depends on what bank. All those things. Go get the funding course. The dudes. I know, Casey. It's really getting ridiculous. Your circle of influence. Yeah, your sphere of who you can talk to and influence. LA Divine, honestly, no. I don't believe that to be true. Now, why would I say that? Because, and I'm going to say this carefully, if you are a high value man, you have skills, you can talk on the phone, you can wear nice clothes, you can dress well, someone somewhere is going to do what? Give you access to what? A job. I literally go to a very wealthy church. I came in there, I'd be dressed up on Sundays. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, I just moved to Texas. You know what? You sound like you have a great phone voice. Would you like to come work for us? Literally 4 or 5 job offers, 70K a year jobs for phone related jobs in small offices. Why? Because of interaction, circle of influence. So if you're a man who says, this man has no money, but the man dresses nice, he knows how to talk, and let's be really honest, I'm running across a lot of men in their 30s who have very poor vocabulary, can't really express themselves well, aren't very talkative. So imagine that person going into an interview. Right? What are you hiring them for? They can't even talk. They're not going to be a manager. They can't work over people. They can't really express themselves. And I have a speech impediment. And I can still tell you, I talk to people every day who I'm like, gosh, you sound 12. You can barely express yourself. Okay? So I'm saying this is a generation of quitters who have quit any kind of self-improvement. They love to give you the line of pre-selection. That's like these women out here saying they only want to date skinny women, completely ignoring the fact that they may be overweight and they may have kids They may be single mom. These are all factors. So when you tell me if a man's broke, that's the only factor and nobody's going to deal with him, that's incorrect. Okay? People have to do a whole assessment of themselves. They're not doing whole assessments. At 750 credit score, you can't be denied, depending on what your payment history looks like. Alexis says men better get money or get left, but with dumpster fire women. Oh, how did you know not know their height prior to going with them? Sometimes internet dating, online dating, or I'd have friends would put me in like a blind date, which I'm always very open to, and they'd be like, "Oh, he's about 5'7". I'd be like, "Careful, I'm 5'7". Get there and be a little bit taller, and again, I wear cowboy boots, so I always have to be careful. I believe this generation are quitters. However, corporate America has declined heavily in the last 40 years. That's why our generation needs to start a business. For sure, yes, but also I think if you look at our parents, they had a kind of like, they would save money and wait to buy something. Remember Laraway? Laraway was a real thing because your parents would consistently go pay on something. Now we have credit cards, and if we don't get it right away, we don't want it. Or we're mad about it. Hence, you see these people taking all these travel things and that kind of thing. Yeah, basically saying shut up and dribble. That's what he's basically saying. Talk about finances, Erica. Don't you talk about none of this other stuff when all these things play into money. What helped me step on a faith and do it? When I saw dumb people doing it. Okay, so Protector of Peace said, I want to start a business. I want to be a business owner, but you have fear in a way. What made me get faith and step out? When I was sitting in an office doing billing, being a billings manager, and a guy who came in there acting like a huckleberry had a painting company, and all he did was come and he never painted. He had other people working for him. I was like, if that guy can do it, I can do it. When I started going to conferences and I'd meet people who were like, yeah, I barely finished high school, but you know what I did? I bought this building and I did this or that. Or they tell you the steps of how they did something and you realize that person's not that bright. That kind of thing. I stepped out on faith because I was like, if that guy can do it, shit, I can do it. Ladyboy cute. So here's the thing. Of course I've tried fasting. Okay, like don't be a smart ass via the comments, okay? Like at the end of the day, I literally had a surgery and several things have happened to me over the course of my life, and that's pretty much why I'm getting off the internet, because you have people who think they're trying to get smart with you or attack you or ask for refunds or do all this crazy shit. You're like, I don't have to deal with you. I've made my money. I'm a millionaire. Like I've got my money now. I don't have to surround myself with people who refuse to act right. I don't have to do it. I don't have to do any of this. And so once you really figure that out, you really don't have to do any of this. I remember this guy teaching me at this conference, once you get this money, you won't want to do this. And I thought, that's crazy. No, I really enjoy YouTube. But I understood what he meant. You will not want to spend time with people who are not go-getters. You will not want to do vacations with people who are not go-getters. You will not want to go on ski slopes. You will not want to go do dinners. You will not want to go be around people who refuse to acknowledge the new reality of America. You will not want to be around them. And that is what this YouTube is teaching me. They're right. I've got plenty of videos. If you pay attention, Ryan Scribbler, some of these other guys, they're not doing as many videos anymore. They're regurgitating stuff. They're sending you old videos. They're just uploading stuff. They're running ads on old videos. Why? Because they got a certain amount of money and realized, I don't really want to be bothered. I can go buy franchises. I can go buy rental properties and not have to associate with people who sit here every day needing to be believed that people are out here living their lives and getting married and having children and living well. This is the level of sick you are. You need a therapist if you really believe some of this stuff you're hearing on the internet. If you really believe people are out here getting married and being happy. Everybody's just getting divorced. When people live in actual neighborhoods and know that's not true. They know it's not true. I mean, you see the actual suicide rate of white men going through the roof. It's the fact that people are having to wake up and realize if I don't do something different financially, I'll always struggle. And they are saying, I'll just cap out, then struggle. That's bad, you guys. So when I'm sitting here challenging you to get a new hobby or learn a few new financial things and people are giving you grief about basic living, that's when I know it's time for me to exit this environment. Because that's just, there's no way people live like this and think it's healthy. It's scary. It's not healthy. King Hector, how can someone buy tax lien for me if I'm not there? Are they your business employee? Or do you have to buy them per person? Let me know. I'm telling you, listen, get that engineering degree. They can't force you out. There's people at work, my friend at job, she said it's like 75-year-old men who are like, they need engineers so bad they can't force them out. No, I'm not in Houston. I'm driving through Houston. I have no more seminar. That's just it. I may do one in Oakland and LA and that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I have no desire to be around people who I have to convince on the internet every day. And it ain't white people, and it ain't Asian people, it ain't Hispanic people, it's black people. Like, I have white and Asian Hispanic people come to my events and I'm thankful for every one of you. There's even white people in our investment club. I don't care. But to come on here and have to convince you is too much. It's disgusting. Going back to school to be a software developer, do it. Three or 4 year age gap is a big difference unless you're a mature person. Exactly. It is. Kevin Samuels does a fabulous job about going out there, dressing better, living your best life. He does a fabulous job. I've recommended Kevin several times on here. Kevin Samuels will help you, but you know what? People will sit here and fight you about wanting to wear a hoodie and blue jeans every day. Who would want to live like that? That you got to convince a grown person to put on nice clothes. What's the point of making money just to sit in hoodies all day? And yes, I'm in a hoodie right now. But usually literally, I'm going to start my Instagram. You're going to see, like, as I travel and take pictures. I'm going to let you guys see it. Gregory, we did a whole video talking about money doesn't make a man. We just already talked about all the things you need to be a healthy person. Again, Gregory, not paying attention. You're about to go on timeout. Oh, they're already out. They're out of here. Become a manager, acting like a huckleberry. Exactly. There are plenty of small businesses that we could go over and talk about this. And so Ravi, when I bring him on, I don't know if he'll come on the channel, but I definitely am incorporating a lot of stuff from his stuff. Again, to be really honest, it's all about, and I'm going to bring Kamoy back on because she just left a thing where Google is hiring. So I'm sitting here telling you to take Kamoy and Chris' class and actually educate yourself on it. And she's out there at the thing and Google's hiring people. And the thing of it is people are not doing what? You're not educating yourself in what's going on. Jobs and fields that need you and pay $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year. They even did a thing at Google about how Latinos are missing out on the big tech wave. Right? And again, someone said something about reparations and I laughed and I said, yeah, they should force people to go to school. And I said, listen, people can spend 3 to 4 hours on their phone educating themselves in new dances, songs, how to play the guitar, how to travel in Morocco, They can educate themselves via phone if you give them access. If you give them a phone, you give them a laptop, you give them access, they can educate themselves on 90% of the chance. But it all begins in your mindset. That's why I said I can't even be in these toxic spaces where these people are literally essentially telling you on the internet they have given up on life. They have quit on life. They've quit on life. They might as well just go lay in the ground and be buried and covered and die. They don't want any children. They don't want to get married. They just want to have money, eat, and live. And I'm like, bro, like, that's depressing. You need to go see a therapist. Salesforce need people. I get 3 calls a day for Salesforce skills. Curtis Davis again. Curtis, I was up against a woman for the position, no degree, just Salesforce badges, like 30 of them. She beat me out and came out with a $95,000 salary. Translation, y'all got Erica's last nerve. I'm so serious. I'm like I've seen messages you guys have left some of the assistants, and I'm like, this is why we're done. This is why we're done. Do you think it's more valuable to attain an MBA versus networking to attain a higher position? Dark Stalker Zero, and I'm gonna finish this video out because I really want to go ahead and do this and get back on the road. If you spend the next 90 days, I mean, you can literally do it this fast. You spend the next 90 days, and let me just hypothetical. You want to do Salesforce or IT. You go to every single association event in your city on IT, Salesforce, any of the meetups, happy hours, any nerdy stuff they're doing, and meet those guys and actually talk to those guys in that room. I promise one of them will not only probably refer you, but put you in for a referral. And say they know you. Say that you're some guy they referred. Because it's that they need people that bad in these industries. I'm a college professor. I had to fight with my students dress well. I have a friend working at Apple. Apple allowed them to wear pajamas. And they're like, oh, it won't hurt your job. You can wear pajamas. So people are coming to work in full pajamas, right? The full 9. And she said, yeah, it doesn't hurt you, but you're not one of the people getting promoted. Woo! Thank you for the $20 super chat. Haven't heard of you. 6 months ago, eliminating debt, fixing my credit, bought Rise of 1099 economy, multiple streams of income, average is over, and millionaire by 30. I'm 56. Thanks for putting a foot in my butt. Thank you, Memphis Recipe. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yo, this Lady Boy has come back as another username. That's a loser. That person's a loser. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here on the internet? You have people who are losers. If they ever said any of this stuff in somebody's face, they'd be punched in the face and then call the police because they're a bitch. Like, I mean, that's literally what we're dealing with here. Is level grade 10 loser, adult losers. Shit's disgusting. Small businesses are key for generational wealth. Troy said the therapist is going to give them and say, get out. They really are. And they're seeking attention for being a loser. That's essentially what they're doing. Right? YouTube people, I mean, that's how much time they have on the internet to make multiple profiles, to make comments on people's things because they're a loser. They're probably a financial loser. They probably are socially awkward. They don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend. They probably aren't even fit. When people are fit and love themselves, they will post pictures of themselves. Because people love themselves so fucking much. They will post pictures of themselves shirtless. I mean, black dudes be on here with shirtless photos of themselves as their thumbnail pic. Got their face in it just enough, but you gotta see them abs. So when you see people who they don't use their real name and they don't use a picture, their life is economically sad, and you know it. They're financially a loser because people who love themselves do what? Show their face. People who buy PayStation before IT certification for the same price. Yep. Monthly dividend investments. I know, we are full of trolls today, you guys. Thank you. Posting chicken avatars, man. Get out of here. They should. They need to get a job, man. That's the sad part, yo. These people are sad. So anyway, I'm out of here. These people crack me up. Exactly. They have dedication to come on the internet and be losers and harass folk, but not enough dedication to go get a certification and get a better job. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but yeah. So the point of it is, I'm rolling out. At the end of the day, list my $450. Any of the people in here, it's in the bundle. Put the course in there. It'll be in the description. But this is the deal. If you really want to win, if you really want to go out here, you can. If you want to change your life in 90 days, you can. And it will require you to put on a nice pair of pants and a nice shirt. That's a clean shirt. And you know, brush your face. Clean your face up. And go out and live your life. And when you're ready to stop being afraid, when you're ready to stop hiding in your mother's room or your sister's house and internet fighting with people, because that's all you can do, that's all the power you have, because you have not grown up. You have not challenged yourself. You've decided to quit. And many of you are angry that you quit because now you're in your late 30s and 40s. You're overweight. You don't want to try. You know it'll be harder. This is why you're hearing these videos. This is why you're seeing all these people on Instagram live their best life. Not because all of them are faking it. Because it just doesn't cost that much. It's just so damn cheap to buy real estate. It's so cheap to buy monthly dividend stocks. It's so cheap to invest in Lenny Club. But you see what these people spend their time doing. Trolling and being losers. Because they don't have any hope that they will be anything else. Do you understand that? Like literally you buy 3 houses, you're in the 1% of America. You make $250,000 to $300,000, you're in the 1% in your state, depending on what state. This is sad, y'all. These people are watching videos on YouTube, 5 to 8 hour hangouts, so that they can do what? Wake up in their sister's house and go work their $10 an hour job and feel good about themselves. They don't have any children. You shouldn't have any children if you're a bum and you're not married. This is sad. I mean, this literally makes me sad for people that they literally are excited to tell you how they have wasted their life. Wasted their life. Texas, Louisiana, if you make $150,000 a year, you're in the top 10%. Right? These people are literally, I watched the show 600 Pound Life. These people are killing themselves. People watch that show and I go, you're basically watching someone eat themselves to death. They're killing themselves slowly. They don't have the courage to go jump off a bridge. You know? You know, do you want $30,000 a month income problems, or you want $10 an hour problems? Okay? Again, even the guys that are out here breaking into houses, these bums have the consistency to get up out of the house and break into houses every day. People on the internet ain't even breaking into houses every day. Even crackheads had skills and were useful. These people don't even have skills. They can't even change their tire if their tire went flat right now. This is the level of loser you're dealing with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'll tell people to read books. They're like, well, I need to know if that book is quality if I'm gonna invest $20. $20? When I did the video about $20, people literally were like, it's the principle. No, you're broke. You'd throw $20 on the ground at an old person. You'd throw $20 at a bar for your friend. And you're telling me you're dealing with a woman with kids and you don't even have $20? And she ain't got $20. I already told you she was sorry. But you sorry too, because guess what? Water seeks its own level. When these people tell you they hooking up and they dashing and smashing people, you're a loser. You're smashing crackheads and prostitutes and telling me you're a pimp. I'm sorry. No, you're not a winner. No, you're not a winner. I'm sorry. No. Water seeks its own level. So if you're laying down with bums, you are also a bum. Point blank period. Saying you're 37 years old with no kids and a good job, honey, that's bare minimum. Do you have all your teeth? Have you been to the dentist? Have you taken care of yourself? The level of the bare minimum, the ground is so low for men to be even functional. They're like, well, he got all his teeth and he got a job. This is why you have men like Money Madoo and all these people on Instagram that when they do this, when they do just a little bit, they buy a couple of rentals, women throw themselves at them in their messages. They literally show me messages they get day and night where women are just throwing themselves. Oh my God, you bought one rental. You are, because people are such fucking bums. So when I sit here and tell you, I, as a not skinny woman, go to events and galas and go on dates with judges and date judges because the quality of women and men are so low that they're like, I don't even care you're not skinny. You got your teeth. You ain't in a bunch of debt. You're not committing crime. You ain't got a bunch of kids running around. That's how I know these people are not living their best life. If some man tells you because he's short he's not winning, he's a liar. He's a liar. He's lazy. The levels are all-time lows right now. All-time lows. You literally just have to brush your teeth, wash your hair, and put on a dress, and someone's like, yes, good job, girl. Look, this person. This person's a loser. Look at them. They're in here with another name. What a loser. Oh my God. The guy's back with another name. That's what they tell you. They're here and they're a confused fan. They keep watching this show and watching it and getting my information. And they're confused. They're confused. They're like, I hate her, but I keep watching. You're a fan, baby. You're just confused. Isn't that funny? That's so sad. Oh, you sad person, you. God bless you. You need Jesus in your heart and in your mind. All right. So anyway, I'm done. I've just, oh my God, dude, this guy is a loser. Oh my gosh. What a loser. You see it. You see it. You see it. These people, no life, nothing to do, nowhere to go, no money. All right, I'm gone. I can't. It's just too funny. These guys are losers. All right, you guys have a great night.